Random Hall. I am your host, J. Arthur Random, and I'll be giving you a brief tour of the facilities today. We hope that you will find more than just a building full of interesting people. You will find a building full of interesting people who are truly strange.
Colleges often have their share of urban legends, which to outsiders may seem nonsensical or downright crazy. But few can match MIT's most unusual anomaly, the Random Hall milk. This carton of curdled milk has turned heads and noses at the Institute for almost 3 decades, becoming a kind of celebrity that most at the school are at least aware of. So, how did a spoiled dairy product evolve into such an important part of MIT culture? And why has nobody ever bothered to throw it away? Spring 1994. A lactose-intolerant undergrad named Justin Cave daringly purchases a carton of milk from a local grocery store to make some late-night macaroni and cheese.
Oh, yeah! Woo! I love that cheesy cheese!
When he gets back to the Random Hall residence, he notices something is awry. Some say Mr. Cave forgot to buy the macaroni. Others say he forgot the butter. Regardless, without a meal to be made, the milk was left in the residence refrigerator. As Mr. Cave got caught up in MIT's Life and Rush Week, the milk was slowly pushed to the back of the shared fridge. It spent the next several months in that fridge, forgotten or ignored by others who knew it wasn't theirs. Mr. Cave's mother Betsy attempted to dispose of the milk at one point, but was stopped from doing so by those curious as to what form it could eventually take. It was still there by the time it hit its expiration date on October 20th. One of Mr. Cave's acquaintances told him that the milk had been saved for him by others who were cleaning out the fridge at the end of the school year. They thought the expiration was for the following October. At first, Mr. Cave denied it was his, explaining his intolerance for dairy products. But slowly, he began to remember that fateful night it was bought. Either out of curiosity or a desire not to waste what could have been a valuable commodity to college students, the milk was left there just a bit longer, slowly curdling. Given the tight-knit community that permeates the Random Hall dormitory, it was only a matter of time before the milk gained a reputation. Random Hall threw a birthday party for the milk as it approached 1 year. Mr. Cave insisted on keeping it just a bit longer.
Stay just a little bit longer.
Reasoning, we can't throw it out just after we had a birthday party for it. That would just be rude. One alumni who knew of the milk said this of its persistence: why throw something away when you can tell a story about it? The milk would move between the many floors of Random Hall throughout its existence, though the reason why anybody would want it where you live remained a mystery. In 1995, a group of Random Hall residents decided to enter the milk in the ugliest manifestation on campus contest. Originally known as the ugliest man on campus, the rules were changed in 1992 to let inanimate objects campaign for this dubious honor. The Boston Globe recounted the reaction from MIT administration. Quote, "Keep your milk away. We don't want to see it. We accept it. We believe you. We just don't want to see it." Instead, Random Hall residents took turns dressing as milk cartons to lobby on its behalf. Entered under the name Purity, the milk won handily. It would go on to sweep the 1998 and 1999 iterations of the contest, along with a few more victories in the early 2000s. But things were beginning to change at the molecular level for the milk in the new millennium, which only served to enhance its sordid reputation. The iconic white, red, and black carton began disintegrating as the milk aged, leaking its horrific contents. Rather than seeing this as the time to dispose of it, though, a new generation of Random Hall dwellers took it upon themselves to continue preserving it. And so the milk was transferred, carton and all, into a sealed glass container marked flammable liquid. Whether this caution had any merit to it was uncertain, but students nevertheless wanted to remain safe rather than sorry. One observer noted that the milk went through a plethora of color changes over the next 2 decades before it settled into a murky brown color. Unsurprisingly, none dared taste the milk, likely fearing certain death if they were to try. The milk has, however, been released from its glass chamber at times, and a method known as burping it to relieve the buildup of noxious fumes. Caring for the milk, including burping it, fell upon unfortunate freshmen who neglected their housekeeping duties. In the last few years, the milk hasn't needed to be burped as much, as whatever producers of the gases died out. Those familiar with the milk say it no longer has a scent to it. It rests on a dedicated shelf and is only taken out for birthday celebrations random haulers still throw for the putrid beverage. Dairy expert Steve Murphy of Cornell University believes that it has few of the components left in it that actually constitute milk, but is uncertain whether it has become an ecosystem of its own or simply a puddle of toxic sludge. Sometime in the mid-2000s, the next batch of Random Hall residents took it upon themselves to solidify its legacy in a more permanent way. In 2014, MIT admissions received a strange application in the mail. The MIT website notes that such an application was unusual because the school had moved to an entirely electronic system by that point. As you may have guessed, the application was listed as being from none other than the milk itself. It was now college age and wanted to be part of the class of 19. The mock-up went so far as to include personal details about the milk. Under ethnicity, white and homogeneous was listed. The milk's parents were cow and lactobacillus/zygomycota, multiple. As for its signature, it appeared some milk-like substances were rubbed on the line. Sadly, the milk did not receive a letter of acceptance. Some believe its admission was simply deferred, but as of 2020, the milk has yet to earn its undergrad. Now in its third decade, it seems there's no end in sight for the legendary Random Hall milk. Mr. Cave wonders whether the milk will ever evolve to a higher state of existence, noting that Random Hall residents once tried negotiating a mutual non-aggression treaty with it. The Random Hall milk stands as an example of the strange ways college students bond with each other, even as the years go on and traditions get passed to the next generation.
Straight to your bones, from the farm to the fridge. We know what you want, cause we know how you live. We got the big bad Bessie with the M-I-L-K.
We be chillin'.
Want milk? I said more milk. Come on. Want milk? I said more milk.